All right. Hold on. It says we're live. Let me turn that on. All right. Kick it off whenever you're ready.
Bro, I think I broke my back.
Oh, that's not good. What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I think it's just like broken.
So there's like pieces of it?
Yeah, broken pieces.
Just like floating around in there.
Basically. Yeah, I think that's how it feels.
Okay, well, are you going to do anything about it?
Nothing can be done. It's just broken, you know?
What about like glue, like medical glue maybe, I don't know.
That's not a bad idea. I guess I could try to pick some up at like Walgreens.
Oh, good luck, bro. You glue you.
You've just glued into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
And this is Peterson.
I got him, you guys.
I almost couldn't say. I hadn't read it before, and I got the you glue you, and I was like, oh gosh.
You glue you, bro. You glue you.
You glue you, bro. You felt you were proud of yourself when you wrote that word too.
Yeah, dude, it's just like a really, really long played out joke, and then it's all for the payoff.
You hurt your back for the joke, right?
It was worth it. Oh, laughing has been killing me. Laughing and sneezing is like a grenade of knives exploding in my spine.
Okay, we're gonna keep it real even keel this episode.
No laughing, you guys.
You laugh. I'm shut up. Stop laughing, Jonathan. Knock it off.
Yeah. In fact, the thing, the secret I gave you earlier, was making me laugh so hard. It was like tears running down my face, and they weren't like I'm laughing. It was because I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
It's good. It's worth it though. It's worth it. It's fine.
It is. It's worth it.
It's fine.
It doesn't seem worth it, but okay.
No, it's fine. Riblets. All right, riblets this week are brought to us by Crave Cookies.
This is not a great news week. Oh yeah, sorry.
Crave.
There we go. I'm all thrown off. I don't play riblets.
I know. It's only riblets, you guys. We honestly have never had this happen before. And it's crazy because we had 10 news days. Because you remember we recorded last week's early. And then we had a 10 plus news days. And we are recording now late. So in fact, it's 10 full days. June 11th was the last time we recorded. We're recording on June 21st right now.
There is one singular news story that is hit the cycle, and that's, I mean, we'll cover it in a riblet. It's the price of the Steam Deck. That's like, yeah, it's like one of those riblet that's like a little big. You're like, oh shoot, this is
pretty meaty
quarters rib.
But all the other riblets are so small they make up for it.
Yeah.
So Crave Cookies is not sponsoring a news segment. They're sponsoring a basket of riblets. Unfortunately. Not getting their money's worth. So we're going to tell you what's coming out. Crave Cookies next week's menu.
Hit me.
Recess. The Recess Remix, which has Butterfinger and Oreos and Reese's.
There you go.
Reese's.
There you go. You got it. Reese's.
Chunks. Reese's Cups.
You were like trying, and then you said it wrong when you were trying to do it, and I was like pretty confused.
You've officially given me the yips. I am completely psyched out. I don't know what that little peanut butter chocolate candy is called anymore, and I will forever have to use the mnemonic device Reese's Pieces, and then say Reese's immediately after because I'll lose it, and then apparently it's a monkey.
My least favorite is when people say Reese's.
Oh,
a lot of people say Reese's.
That seems like the easier. I might just start doing that one.
No. I said it's my least favorite because that doesn't even make sense. Because it's Reese apostrophe S. Reese's. Why would anyone say Reese's?
It's the plural. So you're saying the possessive, which is
that's what it is.
Reese, but they're saying they want multiple of them. So they're saying the plural, which is Reese's. Multiple Reese's.
That's not. No, that's not a. No,
Reese's.
I don't. It's not Reese's.
And they always come in packs of 2. So unless you've got the fun size one, you are getting, in fact, 2 Reese's. Or if you're getting Reese's Pieces, and you get more than one, you're getting Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
Same thing with Skittle.
Nope. One skit. Did you know they're only called skits? You just say Skittle when it's multiple.
No, you only call them Skittles when they're the little ones.
Skitty.
French toast
what
cookie.
Are you doing?
French toast cookie.
It's, this is a good one.
Yeah, French toast. Red velvet Oreo,
solid
peanut butter caramel pretzel, and the strawberry shortcake.
There we go. That's the one.
So get on down to Crave Cookies and get your cookie on. All right, I'm gonna just go through these news stories that are very brief. You guys are.
Because I don't have to do the sounds. We're just doing riblets.
Yeah, we're just gonna bang through them. Valve's long-awaited Steam machine is finally dropping for a cool $1,000. This Steam's in-house PC replacement box, which can just run like a normal PC if you want. It's about the size of a banana, a cube. It's very cute. I like it a lot. I think originally when they were thinking about it, it was probably going to be in the area of $600, $700, $800.
That's what I was thinking, like probably $650, $700.
Which a couple years ago, before this RAM shit, probably would have been pretty realistic and cool. And the tariffs. I mean, those are these 2 huge, massive economic disruptors in like the world economy, and this is kind of a great example of it because this is exactly just the real. And I think they're charging as little as possible. I really do. I think they are charging for this what they can get because they benefit way more. This is just like old consoles where imagine how hard Nintendo used to push their consoles and Xbox was selling at a loss for the longest time because the idea was you were going to make it back on licensing with all the games that you would sell. Well, Steam is so lucky because Valve is so lucky. They have a built-in fan base. They've got this legacy store. And I mean, I guess in a way there was, Xbox Live that carried over and stuff, but they didn't have that initially with their very first inaugural console to launch a console that, I mean, and they've already had a warm-up with the Steam Deck. And so, I think they want to just get as many of these out into people's hands as possible so they can start getting us hooked on those Steam sales. God, I've spent $50 last like month or two on Steam, and I have not played $50 worth of games. It is ridiculous. Yeah. And it is the only thing that I am like that with. I mean, I think a lot of people are like that with like a lot of things. They're like, it's my hobby or whatever. Steam is so bad. And so I think $1,000.
You know what? Do you know what I do to like I have used Steam because like when I got new cards, when I got my new debit card and the number was slightly different, I was like I had to deactivate it and turn it back on. I use Steam to check to see. I just buy a game just to see if it's working.
Why not? Why not, dude? Like, I'm telling you.
Why not?
Guilt-free spending. The only thing in my whole life that's guilt-free. Food, I feel guiltier about than this. So I think $1,000 sounds like a lot, and I think $1,000 is a lot, but I think that's the reality of it. I was looking at pre-built PCs in Costco the other day, just like to get an idea. And I mean, you're starting around $1,200-$1,500, and they claim that this thing has 6 times the horsepower of a Steam Deck. So that's a pretty powerful PC, especially for the size and the capabilities of it. Yeah. I think I mean, would I have been I would have been much more likely to consider one, though I don't really need one, or maybe pushing one of my siblings to getting one for their kids. We're in that $600-$700 range, so $1,000 is going to price people out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Like that's a threshold for me.
Same. But I do think that this is as minimal as they can charge. So the $1,000, it's $1,050 for the 512 gigabyte, and then for the 2 terabyte version, it's $1,350, which is insane. Just like that much.
That big of a difference for
exactly
for memory,
terabyte and a half. It's crazy. So I think this is just for telling what's to come in the console world. I think Xbox is watching this carefully and being like, well, if they get away with that, then we're going to try to charge 12 for ours. And that's what we're going to look at, because, and it makes sense because, minimum wage and salaries have gone up so much in the last couple of years. People are making a lot of money. So you charge more money for luxury goods, right? That's what I feel like everyone's just like raking it in.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to do DoorDash. It pays so well to supplement my other 3 jobs. It's really nice. They also had a cool anti-scalper strategy for this that I think might actually be effective. You have to have a Steam account in good standing. Mm-hmm. You have to have made a purchase on Steam prior to April 27th of this year. And there's a limit of 1 sign up per household. So payment method, shipping address, and other information to eliminate multiple entries. So you couldn't even get 2 to your own house, even if you were going to use 2. Do I think scalpers can get around this? Absolutely.
But it's harder.
Do I think it's going to be a pain in the ass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they made it a little more painful. So like I said, I think they're cute. I think it's small and neat, and there's swappable skins. I saw someone made a Portal companion cube out of one already, and
nice.
There's going to be a lot of really neat things. It's going to look really nice. I mean, I got this giant ass PC here, and functionally for what I do with it, I think a Steam machine could replace it, honestly, and having that much extra desk space wouldn't kill me. I might, yeah.
It would kill you. I think it would be bad. I think it'd be real bad.
My right arm would get a little cold.
You'd start putting your
honestly without this space heater.
Like it's chilly in here.
I'm like, I need to get another Steam machine. Yeah, I'll just run 3 games at a time on the Steam machine. That'll do it.
One of them's mining Bitcoin just to keep things warm over here.
It's got to pay for itself. One gaming industry analyst thinks that the latest announced Xbox exclusives are sacrificial lambs doomed to failure.
Oof.
This is how thin we are. You guys know I love reporting on a thing a guy said once. But we're doing that because we're kind of desperate. This is the analyst Reese Elliott of Anlinea Analytics, household names, both of those, talking to GameSpot. And he said that Gears of War E-Day, the latest Gears of War game, and Clockwork Revolution are, quote, sacrificial lambs for hearts and minds, not economics. He's basically claiming that Asha Sharma's whole bag about like, oh, we're going Xbox exclusives again, and we're gonna put Xbox games on Xbox, that this is to make a point and make you feel better, but it's not gonna move Xbox units. He goes on to say in this interview with GameSpot, console as we know it is over for Xbox and has been for a while. There's no turning that ship, but they still need to pretend to care until they've transitioned to pastures where they can return to growth. It's an interesting take. And
it is an interesting take.
I mean, even for this podcast, pretty cynical. The idea that Microsoft is rolling out some of the biggest titles of the year in one of their stalwart series as kind of a show.
Yeah, just to like make you feel better about
make a point
to happen.
Yeah. He says a Gears console exclusive does not shift meaningful numbers of Series X units. Exclusivity as a hardware driver is over for them because the install base it would drive simply isn't responsive enough to justify the cost of building hardware at a 5x component premium. And those games are on Steam. Yeah, dude, fantastic. That's why I put this on here, because while it is just a guy saying a thing, it's a very accurate thing that you can have that there may be no game out there that can anymore. Maybe one day something comes out but I don't think it's going to move consoles. That world
you need a Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Well, think about it this way, because that if you're back in the day to buy a console for a game, when you're like, I want to play Halo, so I'm buying an Xbox. Well, then technically Halo costs you $400. If you today want to play you want to play Gears E-Day, you have to ask yourself, is Gears E-Day an $800 game? Is that worth it for me to pay $800?
For 800? I don't think so, because I don't even think there's no FOMO with it, and that's the key. Like when it came down to old school Halo, and when it came to like Breath of the Wild and things like that, there was FOMO. Like people were like, everyone's playing it, everyone's saying it's amazing, I got to do this, and like I could go in for $600.
But all the FOMO in the video game world now is free. It's Roblox, it's Fortnite, it's free, or at the bare minimum, it's wasn't Among Us free too?
It's like an indie game that like it blew up. That's like where the FOMO is.
Because like my kids will play them,
and they're like $25. Like I got to play Repo, and I got to play, you know what I mean? They got to play these big games that like streamers are playing and having like a load of fun with, and they're $15 to $30.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is it doesn't make sense. There's not enough Xbox gamers for Xbox exclusives to make any economic sense. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of years. And we do have, as you guys remember, we have some Xbox huge layoffs coming from Microsoft. So keep an eye out for those. We'll be playing that clip soon. Resident Evil's creator Shinji Mikami says, if watching a playthrough is enough, the game wasn't good enough. I'd love this take. More important than this quote or any of this story, what I pulled from this was fascinating. Is that there's apparently some controversy in Japan that streamers steal games by letting people experience them without paying for them.
Wow.
And I have not really ever heard that expressed.
That's a weird take.
After years, decades of video game streaming. I've never heard a studio with that take in particular, where it's like, oh, I wish people would not stream it, they'd actually play the game. They all seem very grateful when people are streaming there. In fact, that they'll pay. It's a marketing thing to pay streamers to play your game. And to think in Japan, they're sitting there fuming about it. I mean, not all of them. Some, it's just like it's a thing. It's a topic of discussion. So there are some developers and people in Japan that hold that opinion. And I think that's fascinating.
That is.
There's an argument to be made. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they're stealing it, but I think asking yourself, are they reducing the number of people that could be buying our game by playing it on stream so people can just see it there and not have to go play it?
Especially if there's like a big reveal or a big story moment, or like
a Resident Evil game, basically. And so this Japanese comedian and YouTuber Aiko Kano, he does playthroughs of Resident Evil games. I guess he's like famous for being shitty at them. So he's just like doofing his way through these games, which sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because remember when I played the most recent one where his hand keep getting fucked up?
Yeah.
I should have streamed that because it would have been hilarious.
Because like hate the hand stuff.
He just kept cutting his hand off. And like that would be hilarious on a stream. I'd watch that. So he's a huge fan of Resident Evil, and he got to meet Shinji Mikami, and who created Resident Evil, and who's like meeting his hero. And so he asks him if he's cool with it. He's like, are you cool with me like streaming your games? Because I don't know. Like some people aren't cool with it, and I hope you would be cool with it. And he says, Mikami says, if viewers watched a playthrough of the game all the way to the end and are satisfied with just that, then it was only that good of a game. Which is, he's not saying it's a bad game. He's just saying it's only good enough to watch. And our job is to make games that leave people wanting to clear them with their own hands, even if they watch someone else do it. So keep streaming.
Yeah. And that really should be the take of the industry. I feel like them saying it is a form of stealing. You know, you've ruined it for those people who could have bought it and played it and like experienced it for themselves. Instead, they experienced it through you. And like you said, if that's good enough, then they should have done better making a more fun game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if I'm satisfied, now this is a terrible comparison, but it's something I do a lot, is when I hear about a cool movie, I will go read the Wikipedia summary of the plot, even if it's laden with spoilers. Because if it's interesting enough that in those 5 or 6 paragraphs on Wikipedia and I often will be like, oh fuck, I gotta go see that movie. I gotta see how this plays out. What a crazy, and I forget the twist. I let myself forget it, and then I watch the movie. It's like watching it fresh. But if I can't, like, if I read the Wikipedia article, I'm like, Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's how good your movie is. It's just not that good. So I think that is fascinating. I love that. And
it's interest. The whole thing is interesting.
yeah,
Because I
right.
would have never thought about it like that.
Oh, but there's an argument to be made. So I'm like, interesting. Sony has patented a controller with buttons that got harder when you play with it.
It's called the Boner Controller.
That's the verbatim headline. Which is hilarious.
Finger tickling. It says finger tickling on the sub headline. It says Sony's patented a controller with buttons that harden when you play with it in smaller finger tickling. I don't even know what that means.
So the buttons will alter their resistance and their tactile feel, becoming harder or softer to adapt what's being shown on screen. It's apparently they're using a viscoelastic elastomer. Say that 10 times fast.
I can't because I don't even know what you just said.
So you basically just shock this with magnets and it makes it harder or softer. And I gotta say, of anybody that's going to do this and do it well, it's gonna be Sony. Their controller tech is always head and shoulders above everyone else's. They also showed in this patent possibly using fluid-filled membranes for the same effect. I mean, get this. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, let's throw the whole controller paradigm out the window. What we've got, and hey, Abby, we'll see. I just turned the heat pad on, so you'll hear some groaning soon. So you have a controller that instead of holding the sides like this, and you got your fingers around the back of it, that your fingers go in like little divots. And then if you get shot, they squeeze your fingers. Or you're playing a horror game and they grab your fingers, which would be terrifying. Dude, the options for this are pretty limitless. I mean, you got to have a big battery in there to make it work. But, I mean, it doesn't sound all that crazy considering the other things that the Sony controllers have been doing over the last few generations. And that's what it says here is there in the patent, there's a different design where the player's finger sinks into the button itself and the button like hardens. So if you're not thinking of buttons anymore, you're thinking of divots inside the controller where your thumb goes in it and they can go deeper in it depending on how, dude, I know this is all sounding very, very sexual, and I'm
like holding it a lot.
Sounds like I'm describing a sex toy more than a controller.
Yeah, you're like, it fills up with fluid and gets real hard. And you're like,
toys they've got these days, they're not that crazy. This is not that crazy. The things that those do, to think that we could have a controller doing that shit is not that far out there.
True.
And quite frankly,
we got Rumble Tech.
We got Rumble Tech. If we're going to be charging $1,000, $1,500 for control or for consoles for the next generation, it better fucking deliver this. It better give me this Ready Player One fucking experience where it jerks off my fingertips. Because otherwise, it's got to be something. It can't just be the PS6 and it's just the same with it's just like a little bit cooler and the graphics are better. Guys, no graphics don't get better. We're at the peak.
We don't care about that anymore.
You got to do something different, and this is fucking different. I think this is really cool. This patent is not new. They just discovered it. Data miners just discovered it. They filed it years ago, which means they could very well be way on their way on this thing. I'd love to see it. I would love to see something this cool. Because everyone's kind of got their own specialty. I really didn't appreciate the generation. Maybe Gen 6 that was GameCube, PS2, and the Xbox, where it's basically just 3 consoles. And the controllers are kind of different, but it's just like 3 consoles. And now we're moving into a space where potentially the next console generation is the Steam machine, which is its own thing. It's like a little tiny thing, and it's very PC driven, and it's a Steam box. And then you've got PlayStation 6, which has got this crazy ass haptic controller that you put your whole hand into and you control a boner controller, right?
Thank you.
And then you've got Nintendo doing their own thing where they've got this hyper mobile, because they're gonna stick with it with the Switch, and that's gonna be like the mobile platform kind of thing. And you've got these 3 very, very, very distinct consoles that are all offering something different instead of just 3 boxes that sit under your TV and you play them with a corded controller, which is where we came from. So I love this, dude. I think this is cool. I think it's a cool sign of things to come.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. The Epic Games launcher is getting a ground-up rebuild, which will make it boot 5 times faster. Yeah, boot times are the problem. That's what everyone's been bitching about with the EGS.
They need to just make their store better, where like we can leave valuable reviews and like look up games. Like we've talked about this before, but like if there's a sale on EGS, I'm like, I got to get this game. I'll go look it up on Steam and be like, let me see the reviews, and then I'll go buy it on EGS. Like,
but they're talking. This is the launcher, which is it's crazy to me to think. Okay, so it's 5 times faster. So let's be generous, Peterson. What would you say is an acceptable launch time? Like 5 seconds
for
a launcher to open?
Oh yeah, no, 5 seconds.
So they're saying, so they're saying 5 times. So they're saying we're reducing it from 25. Let's just call it generous. We'll call it 30 seconds. So instead of taking 30 seconds to play your video game, it takes 5. And you guys are out there patting yourselves on the back over this. No one gives a flying fuck. 30 seconds. What the fuck? That's like half a TikTok video. Nobody cares. If you think that's why people aren't using your platform is because they have to wait for it to open.
They don't like opening it real slow.
And they're like, man, we've been working for years. We've really cleaned this up. Now it doesn't take 30, it takes 5. What?
Like, okay.
That's like, not impressive, you guys.
That's not going to change anyone's behavior on their platform at all.
Oh, God. So they revealed this during a presentation at Unreal Fest, and they talked about their storefront re-architecture and also a private beta of the Epic Games launcher version 2. You don't need to have versions, guys. It's just a launcher. No one cares. That's an internal thing. Nobody gives a shit. They've got other quality life improvements, in-store patch notes. They are bragging about having in-store patch notes, cross-region gifting, and, quote, chunked installation for Fortnite. Cool. You guys this is going to move the needle. This is what everyone's been waiting for.
This will do it. Like, yeah, we've been really
in-store patch notes. You couldn't just program a CMS, a blog, essentially, into your store where developers could just write content and post. This is it's a content management system. This is every blog on Earth, and you couldn't put one of those into your fucking Epic Games Store for 10 years. You guys spent billions of dollars giving out free video games, and you couldn't put a blog in your store? I can't wrap my head around it. And now they're bragging about having done this.
Yeah.
You should have been able to do this in a weekend. One slide from the presentation claimed, quote, every developer in this room and every player we have has experienced challenges with the current launcher. It's time for a change. Now it's time for a change. When we say it's time for a change, after we've been fucking things up for close to a decade, they have been talking about this openly since February, so they're pretty stoked about this. This is a pretty big pat themselves on the back moment for something that no one really cares about. But yeah, the Epic Game Launcher is going to have a 5x cold start time, so it will open faster.
Well,
which is... That's
what I wanted. That is what I wanted. So I'm probably going to go back to that storefront now.
Like, there's a lot of things I think that EGS could have done differently. I think the free game thing would have been a great idea for 1 year. I think the way they continued to double down on it instead of reinvesting that money into making the experience better is outrageous.
Yep.
I can't understand how just free things is there was their sole business strategy. Unbelievable. GTA 6's cover has a helicopter in the left-hand corner. That's how slow the news is this week. It's bad, you guys. Every game, apparently, there's this Kotaku dork who has been following this, I guess, forever.
Mm-hmm.
Every game since GTA 3 has included a helicopter in the left-hand top corner of
because they're like a montage, like
the box art of the game.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and there's tiles, and the upper left one is always a helicopter. Except for some reason, which drove this author nuts. Understandably, I'm on his side. Chinatown Wars on the PSP. Just, I mean, there were a couple Grand Theft Auto games on the PSP. There was Liberty City Stories. That one had a helicopter in the left-hand corner. For some reason, Chinatown Wars had a motorcycle. I don't know how that passes. My only guess is that they have one guy knowing how tight knit and closed doors things are at Rockstar. There's one guy that does this, or there's one guy that approves this, and he was out, or she was out. Someone was out on paternity, maternity.
Yeah,
someone was
like
out
leave.
for
they had a baby,
significant chunk of time, and they came back and they shipped Chinatown Wars without that person, and someone got fired.
Oh, he came back pissed. He or she came back so furious,
head on spikes. They were so fucking pissed.
Like
it's a fucking helicopter.
Spittle as he yells. Where's the helicopter?
I had multiple meetings about this. How dare you ruin things with Chinatown Wars? And it's essentially just an Easter egg.
Jerry set up another helicopter meeting. I don't.
Fucking. It's just the meeting invite just says helicopter in all caps. You know exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to get sprayed with spit.
He's like, are we good on the upper left-hand corner? I need to make sure everyone's on the same page.
And you know what this
is not a Chinatown Wars fiasco again.
Exactly. He invoked Chinatown Wars at least 8 times before this cover was revealed. Every single time they brought him a new cover. If he's like, all right, now you didn't Chinatown Wars me, and they're like, Jerry, that joke is so old. He's like, it's not a fucking joke. It's not a joke.
He's so mad. Like, I don't care about the other images.
I'm that fucking serious. Jerry, poor Jerry. He just likes things. He just likes things his way.
The helicopter was my idea. My stamp on the industry. If I don't have this, I don't have anything.
That's the only thing my mom's proud of.
You know the helicopters at the top of the Grand Theft Auto box.
All right, ma'am. Let's get back you back down to bingo.
Jerry.
I'm sure it was, ma'am. Come on.
Dude, it's time for a JD's sales report.
Dude, that's the riblet version. We only have one.
Yeah.
This is version. Despite being 7 years old, Devil May Cry 5 just had its best year of sales ever. What?
Dude,
I
don't know if that's a bad thing for the last few years, or if this was a great thing for this year.
I think it's just fantastic news all around for Capcom. Capcom has just been crushing it lately. They've just been having a really good time. Their games have been good. They've been not fucking up. I don't think they chased the live service hype quite as much as everyone else, and now they're just reaping the benefits. But man, they have a single player campaign story game that has a tail this long. Whereas
crazy.
So this came out of Capcom's annual shareholder meeting, and their consumer business sales volume report showed that Capcom sold more games this last year in its history, 59 million units.
59 million games
across all their games.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's an amazing thing. That's when you hear the units that we report here on this podcast for I guess Capcom, would you say they're AA or AAA? I feel like they're more AA.
I feel like they're like 2.5A.
Yeah, but
like they're trying to push
million
AAA.
Yeah, exactly. And 60 million units, whatever they are, annually is a good, solid.
That's crazy
amount. Yeah.
Okay. So did you look at that chart?
Yeah. So 2.7 million copies of Devil May Cry 5, which came out in 2019. And they outsold every year ever, including the year it came out in 2019. It sold 2.1.
What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Netflix happened. The Devil May Cry series on Netflix released in April of 2025. So for the last year plus, people have all been watching that on Netflix and grabbing. So that speaks to the power of Netflix and these adaptations that we've been seeing. A lot of video game adaptations.
Like if they don't suck, because like Fallout had the same thing. People were like,
and if the game doesn't suck. Because like Arcane, I don't know how much that helped because everyone was like, "Oh, I want to go play Lord of the League of Legends." They're like, "Actually,
this is not what I thought it was. Jinx isn't even that good of a character, and so But yeah. So that is super interesting. 2.7 million copies.
And I
Would you
think
say 5 years after release?
Yeah, it is 6 is 2019.
Yeah, crazy. Well done.
So yeah, very cool. Good to if I would love to be if I were working in a game studio right now where I would feel safest is maybe Capcom.
That'd feel pretty good.
I don't know if we've reported on many layoffs out of there, but they seem to be doing good things and knowing what's working is. And again, the other part of the story that fascinated me was just the power of it. Maybe it's just Netflix, maybe it's not, because you mentioned Amazon. Or I'm sorry, you mentioned Fallout, which was on Amazon, and I don't know if that had the same impact. If it had been on Netflix, it might have been even bigger.
Season 1 definitely did. Like people went in and bought a ton of Fallout. Like everyone wanted to play Fallout. But the other,
oh yeah, we reported those numbers went up tons.
Like it did go up, but also like a big piece was like people who everyone who was super interested already owned Fallout. Like everyone has Fallout, and so like all the gamers. So it's like I think Devil May Cry is probably something that like a lot of people play. But as you see, like it released 2.1 million copies, which is good. Not like mind blowing for this, but it's very good.
But yeah, to basically sell 10 million over lifetime, yeah. It reminds me of how much movies used to rely on DVD sales.
Yeah,
as like a long tail strategy, and then streaming came in and killed that. This is having like the opposite effect, where for some reason streaming has added to the long tail sales of video games as interactive media.
Interesting.
And I do think that you're working on Devil May Cry 6, and you are just you're licking your chops.
I'm pretty good
because you have a huge player base now that didn't exist when you started working on it.
And you're gonna have a job for a little while. That's always nice.
Yeah,
in this industry.
Yeah, it's a precious premium. So very cool. Good to good work, Capcom. And because I said that, it'll turn into a shitty nightmare shop within the next 5 years. So
yeah,
you play the clip. Do you have that?
Which one?
The curse clip.
Oh, I don't think I have it anymore. What was
the clip? Sad.
I know. Do I have? I can somewhere.
That's all right. Just remember, Capcom is cursed.
We just cursed them. To be honest,
you are cursed.
Yeah, I think I deleted it. Sorry.
It's all right. Kudos is a positivity segment.
Positivity.
Where we say things that we like, not things that we don't like. Peterson, why don't you go first?
I've got two. One of them's real quick. The first one is look, guys, World Cup is going on. I'm a huge soccer fan. I mean, I say that. I don't watch a lot of soccer outside of World Cup and going to Real Salt Lake games. Every now and then I do. I'll keep track of it. But love the World Cup so much. It's going on right now. It's been exciting. It's been fun. The U.S. men's national team has clinched their berth into the next round, the elimination round. So right now is the pool play, essentially the group play, and U.S. won their first 2 games, so they're clinched. They are going to the elimination play, which we haven't done for a little while.
Yeah.
So like that was awesome. Then they've been playing great. Honestly, they've been playing really great, really solid. Do I think they're going to win? Not a chance. Not a chance. They play someone like France, Spain, Germany. They just get murdered. But yeah, they've been playing great, which is good. It's really nice to see that. Because same with England, they're doing pretty well because both teams. You're like last few World Cups, you'd be like, yeah, no, they've got a chance to make it out of group play, and then they just like blow it. You're like, why?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Americans.
It's been a fun World Cup. The teams, and it's really been like there's been some underdog teams that have like come out, like Cape Verde, who like, where's that? And they're just like,
dude, Cape Verde is. Do you remember many months ago when we had a listener show up on our app from Cape Verde? Yeah. We have a listener there. So whoever's tuning in,
dog.
way to go.
And like, there's been like African teams that I always root for African teams because they never. It's always Europe or South America, right?
Yeah.
Who win? Yeah. So like everybody else, I'm rooting for African teams. I'm rooting for
it's
all
like
the
March
North American
Madness,
teams.
Dude.
Yeah.
You only root for the underdogs. It's way more fun, and anything can happen.
Yep. Also, it's been fun because the stars have, like, especially today, the big stars came out to play. Messi has scored 5 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah, dude, he's been nuts, and he broke the all-time scoring record.
Yep, and it was just he killed it. He was going hard. Mbappe's been scoring, Kylian Mbappe, and he's so fun to watch. These younger guys, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun tournament so far, and we're about to finish up second round of group play, and we're going into the third round, which is always exciting because it's like, hey, these guys tie, then this team needs to win. Like, it comes down to all these scenarios. So I know not everyone's super interested, but man, World Cup has been a lot of fun so far. And it only comes every 4 years. So I've done it 6 times on this podcast, I think. I can't remember. We've been going for a while. And JD stepped away for a second, so I will do my second kudos, which is, let's see, for Father's Day. Usually Father's Day is, especially lately, has been me just planning my own thing, right? Kind of planning my own thing.
That's what it is until your kids are out of the house.
Yeah. But my kids like came together and they were like, hey, we wanted to get something. And they had an idea of what they wanted to get me. And they got me a Lego set of
Which
the
one?
Shire.
Oh, I've seen that one. It's so cute.
It's big, and I'm super stoked. Of course, it's expensive. They didn't buy it. They had Stacy buy it, and so they all gave it to me on Father's Day, and I was stoked. Like, it's such a good gift, because I haven't really gotten any gifts for Father's Day for years and years. So, anyways, yeah, I'm super excited to do it. And Lily keeps asking me, can you open up? I want to put the characters together. She wants to put the little Hobbit pieces together.
Because they're shorter.
Yeah, they're little tiny ones with the little legs. So yeah, super cool. I love, next I'm going to get that Minas Tirith set that's like taller than me.
Oh my God.
That's his next.
Please.
It's going to be my office is going to be like, I can't move the computer in there now because it's full of Legos.
Oh my God.
I'll move it one day. Anyway, what do you got?
I went to a used bookstore this week, and I gotta say, like, I love a bookstore. I love a used bookstore. This may be surprising to some of you, but actually, maybe, I don't know. I get lost. It's so bad. Like, if I go in with somebody, I always apologize in advance. If I go in by myself, we're looking at 2-3 hours. I mean,
okay, let me ask you this, because whenever I go into that, they always feel chaotic and I don't even know what to look for. Like, where are the Brandon Sanderson books? I don't know. Like, I'm just kidding. But no, it feels a little chaotic, so I don't know like where to look.
It feels like magical to me. And I'm a sucker for that type of like media, I think. I love books about books, is what I tell people. Secret libraries, all that stuff. Finding a lost book just hidden among the stacks, and it's yours and you discovered it. There's some like magic about that. And so if I find, and quirky bookshops are even better. Some of my favorite books I've ever read have just been random books that I've just like grabbed because the cover looked interesting.
That's how I got into Mistborn. It was in the airport.
Yeah. And so it's like that type. I just love that aspect of it. And so I have, I'm very well acquainted with all the used bookstores here. Well, I thought I was with all the used bookstores here in the Salt Lake Valley. And I found a new one, and oh my God, it's called Marissa's Bookstore. And it is on 39th South. It's in Mill Creek in Salt Lake. And guys, it is. I was in there for maybe 10 minutes and I was like, this is the best bookstore in the Valley. This is the best used bookstore in the Valley. And I like the Sam Wellers and Ken Sanders. Ken Sanders is sick as hell. The new location is all whack. I like them all. I think they're cool and they're quirky. We do have our kind of established things. This was a new one. This is a newer one, I'd say, within the last 10 years. They are in an old like a tire store with like the garage, like an old tire garage. So big windows that were previously garage doors, kind of a vibe, and it's very quirky and it's kind of random, and everything's kind of spread out from hell to breakfast. But it's the quality of books are fantastic. The organization is second to none. So if you went in there looking for a specific book, you could find it as you would in a library. Some used bookstores are just chaotic. Like you're saying, just a big mess. Yeah. And there's like, here's a section and here's everything. But this place is very, very, very well organized. And on top of that, all their books were amazing. And they had so many used books, new books. They had books where I'm a sucker for pulp novels. I love old pulp novels. Anything written 50s, 60s, 70s. And you know how those smell. The edges are yellow and they just smell like old books. And because that cheap pulpy paper, that I'm a sucker for that old sci-fi shit like that. Sci-fi ladies in skimpy space suits on the cover, that type of shit. Oh, I love that. I think one I just got was like gifts from Phobos. I can't remember. It's just like the craziest things. They're just like, I just love that. And so I'm looking through their collection of pulp stuff, and every once in a while I crack one open, and they have this like rare section. And I've learned that I have very expensive taste when it comes to used books, because I kept opening books that were $80. I'd jump online and be like, why is this book so expensive? It's just like a super rare copy of this book. It's like really hard to find. And then they had these cool things, bundles. So you could get a bundle of all these old Conan the Barbarian pulp novels. And, you know, they're all pretty expensive because they're kind of vintage, but you can get this cool little bundles all tied up with twine. It's like a $200 or something, because there's just these rare, I mean, there's like a ton of rare limited books in there. And they had a whole section on LDS history, Utah history. I'm a sucker for that stuff. LDS lore, all that stuff is just super fascinating to me. And they hold this whole ass section for it, like old primary books from the 60s, that kind of shit.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. It was so cool, and it's nice and quiet, and everyone there is super nice. Lady came up to me and gave me some buttons. She's like, I'm the greeter today.
I love that.
I was like, so what does that mean? She's like, it means I give you buttons. I was like, that's fucking great. I'm glad you were here today for me. They have these old Star Wars novels I used to read in like the 6th grade. Which were cool, and just everything. It's just, you guys have to go there if you like books at all. You live in Salt Lake, you got to go to Marissa's bookstore. It's the dopest shit ever. I was just so tickled with it. So that's my kudos for a bookstore. All right, Marissa's bookstore is dope.
Let's check it out.
JD asks.
JD asks.
JD's ass. I don't know, guys. We're going with JD ass. JD's ass. All right, JD asks is this segment where I ask something. And this week, I'm asking, game? I'm gonna ask it. What games would you read a book about set in that universe? And what would you like the book to focus on? So I'm thinking about books, and I happen to see a handful of video game books there. They had a Mass Effect, big Mass Effect book.
Yeah.
And I remember that I for a period, it was like the Xbox 360 era. That was like the era when I couldn't get enough video games in my life. If I'd been living in this day and age, I would be in trouble. I would be a problem child. But I was like supplementing my video games with books, and I read a lot. I read books set in the BioShock universe, the Gears of War universe, Halo universe. The Halo ones I loved. The Halo books
you read those
so sick. The way they just described these. So I loved them all. And so I was thinking, you know, what would, and that now we were just talking about the power that Netflix has in moving games. So how many, and there's, you know, game universes I think are often very fascinating because so often they're born not from a writer sitting down and being like, this is the story I want to tell, and this is how we're going to tell it. But so often it's like, the limitations of the video game itself drive the story, drive how it's written and what happens. And I know specifically, especially for BioShock, That's why it is. And you look at the lore behind Fallout, where it's like, oh, there's this VATS, the Vault Assisted Targeting System, is this thing that allows you to select and kind of like use a real-time strategy tactic to shoot things. That's just because the engine didn't allow them to have good first-person shooting. They had shitty shooting, so they added a lore reason why your character could pause time essentially and target certain areas of a body. So that's the type of thing that I love about video games, and how they craft stories to fit technical limitations of games. Okay. And I think that can make for a lot of really interesting stories that you would not otherwise consider. So I have six games.
Okay.
That I thought would be interesting.
We might have some overlap. I wonder if we do. I just have 4.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like, you talk about Sanderson, people are reading books. I wouldn't say as much as they should be, but I think a couple good books could move the needle on a video game, and they're cheap. It's cheap to write a good book, and if it gets out there and it gets the game name out there, that can be kind of impactful.
I like Patrick's idea. A set of 50 Fallout novels with one set in every state. What's going on in Idaho in the post-apocalypse?
Forget state. We'll do the vaults. You could just have an ongoing vault series. And what's happening in this vault? There were hundreds of them. They all had different unique experiments. There were only a handful of control vaults where they were actually worked as intended. So you could have all sorts of crazy, wacky things. You could do comics, graphic novels, all sorts of fun stuff.
Graphic novel.
Which is funny, and I'll just start because that's what Patrick said. I did mention Fallout, and I thought Fallout would be a great thing we've seen in the Fallout series. A unique story set in a unique vault we haven't seen before in the games can absolutely work. And a ton of vaults have been mentioned in the little journal entries, just vaguely. So we know about them. We know 1 or 2 sentences about them. That's all you need. Hand that to a writer, let them go nuts. Let them write it. I used to spend hours when I was playing Fallout 3. This is how bad my addiction was. I'd play Fallout 3 till the wee hours of the night and be like, okay, you need to go to bed. You need to take a break. I would go lay in bed, and I would pull out my laptop, and I would pull up the Fallout wiki, and I would look at the locations I'd visited that night, and it would list all the named or the rare items or the unique NPCs I might have met there. Click into all their entries, read all their entries through. I swear to you, I read every single Fallout wiki or entry in that whole wiki at one point. And so I think the universe, the lore is dense enough to support a book. We've seen.
What would you want it to focus on?
I think what Patrick mentioned would be good. I think going vault by vault, because that seems to be, and then you could, obviously a character can leave a vault, but that seems to be kind of the trend line with the stories. New Vegas being kind of an exception where your character doesn't necessarily start in a vault, but they're equipped with kind of vault gear, and you could do that too. But I think you go around the country. Patrick mentioned Idaho. I think there are a lot of fascinating, Fallout New Vegas showed how interesting it was to play with Mormonism in the post-apocalypse. And it was really interesting. So I think there are a ton of unique areas in the United States where you could just plop a vault and make a story. And I would read every book. I think they'd be fun.
Yeah, as long as they kept them light, like the Fallout
funny
series,
need to be
Fallout, the Fallout. The TV show, the games, like it needs to be dark and funny at the same time. Kind of how like Dungeon Crawler Carl was a little bit like that. Like,
oh my god, fuck,
a little bit dark, a little bit messed up, but it's fun. Dude, we're just about to 4.
I think you're right. It's from how you described it. I feel like that's right in that line.
Same niche,
it's like
same niche.
Funny, dark, satirical.
Yep.
So I think they could be good.
With like a larger underlying story kind of happening that like you're not necessarily tackling right away. Like, for example, how Hunger Games was really about like the game, but then kind of became about like overthrowing the evil government. You know what I mean? Like there would be some deeper story happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to decide which one I want to start with. Okay. I just got to start with the one I wanted the most. Immediately, my brain went to Planet Crafter. Not just because we've spent so much time in it. I love how I love how it is. There is no story really. Like you're just making it up as you go. But like, how great of a story would it be? Because we know that you are some kind of prisoner.
Yeah.
Who has been sent here, and this is like your sentence, and this is like your recompense. Like you do this, and then you're good. And so, I just read your comment. The Florida one is just endless mutants, all of whom emerged before the bombs fell. Anyway, but Planet Crafter is gosh, freaking Florida. They're like everything.
Super mutants go down to Florida and then they leave Florida. They're like, no, I don't like the mutants down there. Those guys fucked up.
The crazy part is they didn't even get hit by nuclear waste. Like it's crazy,
but it's more polluted.
Yeah, it's like worse.
The super mutants go down there and get sick. The ghouls are like, nah, man, that ain't us.
Like, we can't go there.
Florida's not our scene.
Okay, so Planet Crafter, because it is like
the Florida mutants are like, well, we're good guys. We're good guys.
Just slop them up. Dude, I gotta add that to the board.
You gotta add it.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Planet Crafter.
What are you talking about? Oh, no, and so it'd be cool, like the character you're following is sent to a planet with maybe one other person, and there's nothing there. Guys, like he's like desolate and like trying to survive, and it becomes like starts off as like a survival type of story, but then he starts to thrive and uncover and like really starts to like build things, and it almost has, I don't want to like say quite like a Martian type of vibe, but like barely surviving.
Yeah, it absolutely does have a Martian type vibe.
Yeah, like he's barely surviving and finding tech and like developing things. Like he's very smart. Obviously, he's like you're building and crafting things and like terraforming a planet at an alarming rate. But like, I don't know. I just think it could make for a very interesting story if you wrote it like similar to how The Martian is written, where it's like not necessarily, it's just like one guy. Right. And there's like other points of view, but mostly just one guy.
Dude, and I love Patrick made a great suggestion. I love this. He says Planet Crafter just releases a technical guide for morphing planets with the same style of humor as the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
I mean, see, and this is what I'm talking about. This being a cool, unique, like this is like a fun kind of segment, whatever. But the idea of this being a small marketing tool for your game, where you essentially find you source an author who's good, who does these type of things. Yeah. And this couple in France who makes Planet Crafter, they find an author that's like, here, they hand them the game. They're like, play through this game and let me know if you can think of a story. The author comes back, gives them a few ideas of things they might explore. And they're like, cool. And now you have a Planet Crafter book. Big hell, you put that on Steam, have them ship it. It's something you just buy on Steam. Like, I just think that would be neat to have floating around. But yeah, I think
you saw a Planet Crafter book first, like a novella for sale on Steam.
Oh, hands down, like a physical thing. We just talking about the instruction guides, the instruction booklets.
Yep.
That we don't have anymore. Like if you could buy a physical thing, like that would be huge
for like a game that you like really have put a ton of time into, but not so much like money. Like it's just like, right away, just buy that.
Steam just partners with publishers. Like, yes. And they just warehouse those and ship them out automatically. I don't think that would be that outrageous. I thought for Planet Crafter, the only take I thought slightly different would be a graphic novel would be really fun. I thought that would be how I would like to see the story told.
I mean, I think a lot of these graphic novel is a great for like video games. It is a great adaptive tool.
Flipping through a graphic novel where the general background was red to green and blue,
and it started changing.
Each subsequent page is getting slightly better, and so you're kind of seeing that visual hue shift like you see on the planet in the title screen as you're terraforming it. I think that would be kind of a neat visual thing.
Yeah.
I got one. I got one that I think you'll love that you will never have thought of. Wall World.
Okay, I kid you not. I almost wrote that one down right before we started this segment.
No shit.
I am not even joking,
dude. Wall World is it's like a mining tower defense game where you control a mech that climbs like a spider mech that goes up and down a sheer wall. It's in 2D, and you stop. As you go up, you find these little caves, you drill into them, and then you send your little character to go find minerals, resources, weapons, tools, buffs, whatever. And then he comes back into the little spider when the monsters attack, and you fight them with your spider. Kind of the left hand of the screen is going to be where you're fighting monsters. The right hand of this where the wall itself is that you mine and drill into. And that's the gameplay loop, and it was really fun. It was kind of a flash in the pan for us, but we really liked it for a while there.
A good game, yeah.
But all I could think is, what is going on with this world? Why do they live on a wall? How do they have that technology? And in the game, you seem kind of surprised when you get to the top, and there is a top. Like your character's like, what the hell? There's a top up there. Similarly, the bottom is water, and you're like, I didn't know that was down there. Like the idea that people, this? What's going on? Why do we live on a wall? What's the goal?
So we live on walls now.
Oh, so we just live on walls, not the ground. Great. In fact, I was so like into this Wall World. Like I started writing a short story that went nowhere, but it was kind of fun for a while. Set in a world that was like a ceiling. Just like one giant like stone ceiling, and everyone lived like hanging below it, because I couldn't get this out of my head. I just wanted to essentially rip the idea off because it was so fascinating.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'd love to see, is like a Wall World book that gets into the lore, gets into the culture, gets into the world of people living on just because you think in the game, you see it's a 2D thing. It's just like one slice of the wall. But you think it in a real story, it would just go. A sheer wall would go endlessly in both directions, like the cliffs of Dover, for so long that people wouldn't even understand it could end. Yeah. Is a book I want to fucking read. Give that to Sanderson. Like Sanderson
build that world. And like, these guys got to go in and mine or whatever, and they got to go in and like.
And how do they develop that technology?
Yeah.
Like how long they've been on this wall, dude. I love it. I think Wall World would be sick.
Well, and then like their goal is to get to the top, right? They've been working their way up to the top. And what happens when they get there? Because there is a top.
You crash. Very, very, very advanced civilization crash lands on this planet into the wall. And they develop the wall technology and lose everything else. And they're stuck, like you said, trying to get to the top so they can actually establish a proper civilization. Bam! I want to read it.
That's so funny because I seriously was looking at Wall because I was like pulled up my Steam list.
It's a cool world.
I looked at Wall World and I was like, that would be like a really interesting book. It's so funny.
Yeah,
that same one. Okay, I'm gonna go with one that's a little bit different because I love books where it's kind of tropey. I don't even care. I love it. I love the hero starts with like coming of age. And like he's like learning his skills and he's excellent, but he's like picking up his skills as a youth, and then he's sent out as an adult. Persona. One
Persona already basically a book you just sit there and read
forever. Yeah, so let's just make it, but you also play 10,000 battles that are pretty repetitive. But that's like any JRPG. But really the crux of it is you have a small crew, which I love, a crew book where it's like a team.
Yeah.
Right? You've got a small team with like a leader, but like you don't start off with all of your abilities. And that's one thing that I like is like these guys are special, but they're figuring out as they go how to utilize personas and like get stronger and get better, and figuring out like what's the big mystery that's happening as they dive down. It's a little weird, little quirky. It's set in like a Japan type of planet or type of world, where it's like but they're going in and they've developed these powers of like using these alternate personas to fight battles and to like go through and solve these mysteries. I just like a coming of age, figuring out your story, character development, plot, where it's like the characters start off as just normal kids or something, and they kind of like work their way into something big. I like books like that. It's a trope.
Yeah.
Like there's a million books like that, and I like it all the time.
Abby mentioned in our comments The Forest and Subnautica as book options. Also, Carrion. Carrion would be fun. Although I feel like the fear that all three of those games captures would be hard to translate to books. Especially like Subnautica. I mean, Carrion is I mean,
Subnautica I think would be uncomfortable to read all the time because you're just like he's just constantly underwater in this like it's uncomfortable for me. And maybe it's because I'm a little bit scared of like deep water, but like it's uncomfortable for me to be there in the game. Like I love it, but I'm also like, oh no, like this
I don't know. And Patrick also said he wants a Psychonauts book series. Remind me which Psychonauts was?
I don't know Psychonauts that well to like talk about it. Like I can picture it, and that's it. I haven't played it. So we'll have to Psychonaut would be interesting though.
I've got let's see, what do I got? 1, 2, 3 more. What do you got?
2 more.
Okay, I will say one that will make Phil happy. Metroid.
Oh,
Metroid, to my knowledge, doesn't have any books. Maybe a comic slipped in there. Metroid's really cool because there is a lot of lore. The games are out of place or out of order. It's not like it's just like a consistent storyline from the first one to the now. And so that's fun to play with. You can kind of inject a story anywhere. There's a lot of like in-betweens and gaps, I think, in Samus's story. But I always look at Metroid Fusion and how much that game added to the lore. Just I'd say aggressively, brazenly. And just to make a fun game. And so, I think you could do all sorts of crazy shit with all the things in the Metroid universe, the way Samus was raised. Hell, the main enemy is space pirates and a flying space dragon. How does that not sound like the coolest book ever? I think it'd fit really well as like a horror suspense novel. Because that's how the games are. And I think
like
you can
Alien type of story, like that type of feel.
Exactly. And I think this would fit. I think of all the ones we talked about, Planet Crafter would have to be kind of weird and wacky. Wall World would be out there as fuck. And Fallout would be, I think Fallout would be its own thing. It
dark
would be
and silly.
But Metroid would be the closest to the books that I mentioned at the beginning, the Bioshock and Halo and Gears of War, where they were kind of a 1-to-1 complement to the game, and they translated well into a book. And I think that's how Metroid would fit into that like early 2010s video game book tie-ins. I think it would fit in very well. Nothing. It wouldn't be too challenging. It wouldn't be too far afield. It wouldn't be a literary adventure that's like way out there. It would just be it'd be a video game book.
Yeah.
Put Metroid on you'd put Samus Aran on the cover, call it a good.
All right. I want a fun sci-fi adventure. And
are you gonna say Mass Effect?
Nope.
Okay.
FTL.
Dude, quit stealing all of mine.
I knew you might
stole
have this
all
one.
of mine. Your whole list is just my list.
I know you didn't have Persona on your list.
No.
FTL though, and I think you'll agree with me, and you even subscribe to their little like
the YouTube
series because it is ripe for a story because they haven't built much story into it. In fact, like it was kind of confusing because you're running away and you're like running from the rebels. And you're like, what are you?
The rebels are like the dominant.
Yeah.
And the Federation is barely holding it together. That's my dude.
And so like there's a lot you could like this could be a swashbuckling space adventure. You could be you could make this, you could go so many directions with this. This could be a Star Trek type of thing where you are going through trying to do good while you're purposefully trying to like stay away from the rebels who have gone
Or you can just do a space opera. You can do a dramatic space politics.
There's so many things to do.
And because if you remember, the rebels are all, it's the human faction. So you play as the Federation, and there are a bunch of different space races that are part of it. And the rebels are all human, and they're racist. So they're like human supremacists.
Yeah.
And right there is interesting as hell. That is so interesting, is that it's not all the humans. It's just like a subsect, and they're winning. So they're all on their own. They're all only humans, and they're beating the shit out of everyone else.
Yeah.
That is a fun universe to play around in.
Yeah. Overthrowing an evil empire of some sort is always fun, especially if you're following just like one crew. Like, hey, this is a crew, and they're like going up and picking up other people, and like, you know, going through and like losing people and boarding ships, doing like battles, like they're fighting ships where they're actually boarding the ship, lighting it on fire, and like trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just sitting there. And the guy who
I
wrote
agree, like it's really good,
dude. The guy who wrote FTL, all of the dialogue and everything in it, and all the story, he's like a legit author. Like, he's written books and stuff. So they've like got a guy lined up that could just do this.
They need to like, I feel like this one is so ripe for it, and it could have a niche audience, and it could be a lot of fun.
And I think of all of these games that I wrote, that I put here on the list. Okay, so the writer was Tom Joubert, and he's written for Subnautica, FTL, Talos Principle, and let's see. I guess he's only written games. I thought for some reason that he'd written.
Well, he needs to make his foray into
like novel debut, right? But of all of the games that we have listed here, all of the games that I thought about turning into books, this is the only one that I spent significant time when I played it daydreaming about stories.
Yes.
And I think Phil mentioned as well when he names all the characters, and then they all kind of develop stories. And I'll get attached to a certain character that barely survives a boarding fight with 1 health and comes back, and they come back even stronger. And then they're like my border guy. And then like, yeah, I'm sitting there making up stories the whole game because as you put it, they leave it so open-ended that it is, but it's like really just right, because there's an established world, there's a lore, there are characters and races and all this stuff, but then they just kind of turn it over to you, just play around with it in your head.
And again, novella. We don't need a full. We need a novella. If they sold, again, you hop on Steam and you see that there's an FTL novella on there that you can buy. Are you hesitating to buy that physical copy of that book?
No, God, no.
No.
I'm getting it.
I'm like, okay, like this is a game that I love so much, like beloved in my heart, right? And so I'm like, yes, I will buy this right away. $20, no problem. I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like waiting to get it, like stoked to get it. You know what I mean? So I just think
I would love
an
FTL. Oh my God.
I figured you might have that one.
Yep. I literally said what you said verbatim, that it's rife for exploration. Okay, I've got. Do I have any more? Wallworld, Metroid. Oh, I have one more. Do you have any more?
I have one more.
Is it Undermine?
No, I thought about doing that one, but okay, go ahead. Are you doing Undermine?
Yeah, and I mean, my original thing on this has always been Undermine would make for a great TV series with new guest stars playing peasants in every episode, new runs for them.
Every episode
is a new guest star, and they go through and they die at the end. Or maybe they last an episode or two, but eventually everyone, so your new guest star, whoever it is going to show up and go into the mine and fight monsters and then die. I think would be a funny setup. But I think Undermine is I think could use a novel that would establish the world a little bit better. We have a world that we are aware of, in which there is a kingdom with a king and the courtly issues that come with that. And on top of that, there are peasants in this kingdom who are regularly sent into a deep mine that exists within the kingdom to look for stuff, whether that's gold or certain secrets or things.
People,
sometimes at the behest of the king, sometimes at the behest of an evil wizard or a librarian. But basically, these peasants are being thrown into this meat grinder to extract things from this very dangerous mine and they're given very little support or help. I think that world I'd love to know more about. I know the mine pretty well. I know the whatever's going on there. I would love maybe a political intrigue kind of book that explains why this is all set up and why there are so many peasants available for this type of sacrifice. Could be kind of fun, but I just think knowing a little bit more about this kingdom, and I don't know if that would be boring.
Okay, this is problematic. I didn't say this one on purpose because I didn't want to roll your eyes, but they could make it very similar to a dungeon crawler Carl, because it's the same type of thing. He's going down as far as he can and getting items and getting stuff from who knows. He's like finding things in like the system, right? And so like it could be very similar. Like there's a lot of ways they could take this. They could make it a serious book. They could make it a less serious book. They could make it like, chaotic, because you're going down there as a nobody and just like picking up, look at this crazy item that I got that makes spiders spawn. Like, I don't want that at all. You know what I mean? And like, so all sorts of crazy things could happen. And so it could be a fun story, or you could make it a very serious story. So
yeah. That's where I got, because I was like, it feels like a very serious subject matter, but it's not a serious game. So like, how do you
like the characters you come across are really wacky usually. So I don't know. I thought about that one. I didn't put it. My last one that I put was because my friends are playing this, and so it's kind of top of mind. And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die is a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you've ever read a zombie apocalypse book.
Many.
But they're kind of fun. Like, they're kind of good. They've got like this very grim feel, and it's very like
I've never read a super serious one.
No.
I mean, I didn't read The Walking Dead, but every other one has been
they're
really.
They're like survival and like grim, and like the characters are always like, they hate everything and everybody and don't trust anyone, and something crazy will happen. 7 Days to Die is that as a game. It is that. It's a survival crafting game with zombies everywhere and some wacky zombies. There's a little bit of mix of zombies, but the thing that would make it interesting as a novel or a book is that and maybe the characters find this out the hard way. Every 7 days, that night, like the sky turns red and the zombies just go crazy and swarm.
Yeah.
And like, your characters like building to that, and like kind of like in like the movie of I Am Legend, like there's that one scene where he gets knocked out and then he starts to come to right as it starts getting dark. Like, think if like your character got into a bad situation, lost consciousness, couldn't really do anything for like 2 days.
Yeah,
right.
Scary.
And he knows day 7 is coming up, and like I gotta prep, and like I don't know. I think it could be like a fun novel, but I don't want it to be a series where you're like, hey, we're on day 21, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like probably he dies at the end of the 7th day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be a little bit dark, because the game is not like a funny game. Like, you come across like traders and stuff like that. You can get motorcycles and like zip around the world, find a trader who's going to be like, hey, will you go grab this thing for me? But I do like, I really like every now and then. It's like a guilty pleasure almost, the zombie apocalypse novel, those books, because they're never great. It's never like, oh, this book blew my mind. I feel like they're all exactly what you think they're going to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a guilty pleasure. You're just like, you know what? No, we're doing this. we're doing gritty guy surviving, barely scraping by, and then something chaos is going to happen and his house gets overrun. You know what I mean? I'm going to do that. And that's what I kind of want. 7 Days to Die would be a good one for that.
Yeah, that is a good one. I like that because, and you know, zombie. Like I said, I've read a lot of zombie books. They were pretty hot for a while there, but
they're fun. They're just fun. But yeah, they're not amazing books. It's fun.
No, I've never read one that I was like, wow, that is a real great piece of literature.
No.
World War Z was pretty dope, but I think looking back on it, it's pretty dorky. So
yeah, they all kind of are. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's rock on this next thing then. Actually, wait.
You wait.
I want to hear you guys. We got some from Abby and Patrick, but jump on Discord and tell us. I want you to think about it. Books that you'd like to read from games that you like to play.
Yeah.
Dice of Destiny.
Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 20-sided dice that has a bunch of genres on it. We roll a 6-sided dice that tells us how much we can spend on it. Then one of us rolls another dice to see who's going to find a game in that genre for that price, pick it, play it, review it. And a couple weeks ago, Peterson rolled a Western game, and we just happened to be playing a Western game, so we had
just barely started, though.
And we're not going to do it. We're not going to double up, and there's not that many. So that's the one thing that Peterson discovered. Not that many.
And like the
Western games
highest rated ones, like we've
all played. Yeah, we made. Do you want to remove that actually?
I think you did. Did you?
Oh yeah, I removed Western.
Yeah, because it is a sparse genre. I mean,
played out.
They do put games out in that, but a lot of them, even the high reviewed ones, were games that I don't like. That I didn't really. I don't want to play like a twin stick shooter. I don't like those. And it feels like the Western genre loves those for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why. So anyway, we found a game. We talked about it a little bit last week. We did like a mini. Just a first impression, but we played Far Far West, and honestly, we're still playing Far Far West because this is a co-op game. It's so good. It's really fun, and it's very early. But this is a co-op game where you play as like, I don't know what Western and robots, like why that's such a common theme too, but you're like steampunky. You're like robots in the West, and you're
also
running
space,
through.
Seems like
And you've got, let's see, a myriad of weapons you can unlock. You start with just the basic, like a automatic type of weapon.
And they're all weapons you'd see in the Old West. There's a minigun. There is a
bow and arrow. There's a carbine.
Bow and arrow. There's a sniper shotgun. Rifle. So there's no laser pistols or anything like that. Which that's fun, even though you are a robot.
And you do have some magic abilities. You do have magic.
Just like the Old West, everyone had magic.
But as you go through, so like there are 4 spell types or 5 spell types? 5. And as you go, like you use a spell of that type, you level it up and you unlock the next type of spell in that spell type.
And it's not always necessarily better. It's just different.
No, it's different. Yeah.
So like you start with a fireball and then and then the next one is like a pillar of fire, but the pillar of fire has a cooldown that is 4 times as long as the fireball. So if you want to just be chucking fireballs the whole time, you're going to stick with that one. But you have this option is to do the pillar.
Yep. And then so they're very, very different. I think there's 5 spells in each right now. But one of the things that we've loved about this game is everything is like upgradable, right? And so you have 2 spells and you have 3 spells you can assign. You can go through and assign those in the saloon. 2 guns, like a main gun, a secondary gun, and a utility item, which is like a healing thing or a more ammo thing that you can throw out. And all of your things are upgradable. Your weapons, as you use them, they upgrade. And there we go. As you use your weapons, they upgrade, and you can add abilities to them. You can change their stats. that sort of thing. And so, and your character's the same way. As your character upgrades, you add abilities to him and you can upgrade stats. And there's just so many things to unlock, which is I'm finding a huge deal for me and JD.
Oh, that's always been a huge thing. Like tons of unlocks, but it's well designed enough that it's like it's going to be hard to unlock everything, but not impossible.
Right.
We're not talking 100 hours, 500 hours to unlock everything. It's like we can see a feasible path to getting at least the things we want unlocked reasonably quickly.
Right.
And that is so appealing to me, is being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and not just being like, oh, I'm on this endless grind until I tap out. I could fully upgrade the gun. I could unlock every card. And part of that is because it is so early in early access that they don't have a ton of stuff.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's what we did with Undermine too, was so fun. Right. We unlocked everything. We found almost everything. And
every time they add new stuff, we will unlock all of it that night.
All. Yeah, and we're out. So yeah, that's what I love, the progression of it. And so you have the hub, the saloon you go back to in between missions, and you can check your weapon, you can check your spells, you can check your individual character, and all of that is so appealing between missions, because essentially this is like, what would you describe this like? It's like an extraction shooter, whereas you're not necessarily pulling, well, I guess no, you're not pulling super rare loot out of it. But it's the same concept that you drop into a map. There's a couple side missions and a main mission, and then an extraction point.
It's like you call the train to come get you at the end, and then you
and you fight. And that's how you end the mission. And they have talked about making that, because that's pretty easy right now. They've talked about making that quite a bit harder.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of just enemies scattered all over the map that you fight. There's tons of things to collect and find in each map. It's just, there's like a million things to do. There's always things to do, and you get so lost exploring just because there are so many neat things to see. And all of the maps are not procedurally generated. They are handcrafted, which I like. I think that's cool.
Yep. Yeah. So they feel, they're very interesting. Like they have a little bit of a different Western feel. Like there's a snowy map, and there's a rainy map, and there's like all the different types of maps.
Rainy, like swamp kind of map.
I will say they did add one thing that JD and I absolutely love, is there is a skeleton guy that has a nuke on him. And you just shoot, and we love shooting guys that explode.
Yeah, there's guys that just have TNT barrels. They're suicidal and they run up to explode on you. But then there's the ultimate version of those, which has a nuke, and you shoot that, he kills everything.
It's a massive like mushroom cloud explosion.
It's so cool looking, and it makes me wonder, like, why when we've seen in so many different games that have a character, an enemy that you shoot that explodes, why there's not a huge version, why there's not the nuke version of those guys. Because it knocks you back. In some instances, it's so funny because the nuke is a thing, whether or not there's a guy attached to it. You find just these barrels that if you shoot them enough, they explode. And there's like a wishing well you can go throw a coin in, and it'll throw out something random. Sometimes it's a good item.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something that you need. Sometimes it's a nuke. And in Peterson, in my case, it kills you both and ends the whole mission because you were standing too close, which is hilarious. So the nuke stuff is, I don't know. It's a fun aside. It does matter. It like makes a difference. It's cool.
Yep. We enjoy that sort of thing quite a bit. The game, like JD said, it's an extraction game. It plays like Helldivers in terms of like what you're doing. You're in there running around this like large map, and you are doing little missions as you go through. There's like pockets of enemies throughout, and you are just doing things like that. That's like and then you leave when you want. You just have to like go through the main mission where there's like a main thing you got to do, and then a boss you got to fight, and then you like check out. But then one thing that I've enjoyed is how much the game changes as you up the difficulty. We up the difficulty, and we're getting like new enemies, and and then there's things like the storm that will activate. There's like little things that if you step in the spotlight or if you step on this mine,
which
it
I don't
activate
do
a
normally.
storm. JD does constantly because he's
No.
a little bit colorblind, so he can't see it very well.
It's offensive. It's a colorblind deterrent.
For
Makes
real.
the game harder.
He's always I think I've activated 1 and JD does like 6 every mission.
Yeah, we had to have a conversation where I was like, Peterson, I'm not stupid. I'm not shitty at video games. There is something distinct here that's happening. We need to figure it out because I keep activating these storms. And he's like, no, I just think you suck. I was like, no.
He's shooting a nuke on the
if you guys are watching on the YouTube, you can kind of see some of these examples of what we're talking about and why it's just so fun.
But yes, JD was like, I'm not stupid. It's not that noticeable.
Not doing it on purpose.
And like I figured that was the case because it really is like just a slightly greenish light shining down. So like
I can't see it.
Having colorblind issues, that might be a problem.
Yeah, I can't see it.
But yeah, so the game plays like that. As you go through, you also are picking up cards, and cards are like granting you abilities. Where you're like, I don't know, you can jump more, like double jump, a triple jump, or like your first 15% of your clip does explosive damage, like things like that. And so
and those are fun. That's the roguelike aspect of it. So you've got the roguelite, you got the extraction shooter, you've got whatever it is. I get going back to the saloon also seems kind of roguelike key.
Yep. You're like unlocking things and you're upgrading your character because you're collecting gold and souls throughout, and those are currency that you use back at the saloon
to buy upgrades.
Yeah, to buy upgrades and things like that. It's just every mission's fun. Like I haven't played it and been like, I'm not having fun with this. I will say one of my nits is that it is easy. Like, and we've played it. We only have not done one difficulty, right? We didn't do.
We're on the second hardest difficulty, and when we were playing it, we're like, it could be harder.
Like, but it's hard, but we're not like, we're not gonna make it.
I gotta say, based on their roadmap that they advertise, which maybe you can even see it in this video, they're pretty open and deliberate about the fact that they are going to be oh no, it's not. Okay. They're going to be adding a lot, and a lot of the things they're going to be adding is increased difficulty. Okay. And so I think it was a deliberate choice to launch the game in its current state to suck you in by letting you feel like you're just dominating and then cranking it up. I feel like we would have gotten turned off. Not necessarily. It is fun.
If it was like super hard,
but it was punishing and super hard, I think we may have dipped. Like, or at least some
Helldivers kind of is. Helldivers is
hard as hell.
Like really hard. If you don't have 4 people, like you're not going to do it.
Right.
In this game, we're just playing with the 2 of us, and we can do it fine. If there was 4,
we would be dominating. And so I think they'll tweak the difficulty. They'll add more enemies. It seems like what you were saying, how each difficulty, it's not just like, the enemies have more health and they do more damage. In fact, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily the case at all. It
doesn't feel like they have more health, but it feels like they do a little bit more damage.
Yeah.
But you have new enemies that are hard.
Yeah, they just add new things. Yep, and they add fully new gameplay elements that are not in the lower difficulties, and I love that. I really think so. I think that's what they'll continue to do is just add layers of difficulty on top. They've got a lot of maps already that you can play on. They're going to add more. And like we mentioned last week, like this is so early. The fact that it's this, I'd say medium polished. It's fairly polished. No bugs, no game breaking, no crashes.
Yeah, we haven't experienced that sort of stuff.
No, we haven't needed an unstuck button. So that's a pretty decent level of polish for a game this early. I think they're just going to need to add more jokers, which are the kind of the upgrade cards you get, more weapons potentially, although the weapons they have right now are pretty robust. Definitely more spells. There's just everything they could add. They can add a lot more. I don't think it's lacking right now. I think you get a good 30, 40 hours out of this. If you're playing with friends, you could get potentially
playing with
more.
Somebody. Yeah.
And then you wait for some more upgrades. But I think so that's crazy for me to say this because a 1.0 of this game to me seems like it like a boundless game. Like I can't even imagine where this will be at 1.0. I mean, now you can have different nuke types. You can have all sorts of wacky shit that they can add that they've already built such a solid foundation with this game. I think they could be developing this for the next 10 years. Straight up 10 years. This is a 10-year game if they want to. Because there's so much stuff.
Listen, if you can't tell, like, we're absolutely enjoying this game. It's a ton of fun. Like, I really am having a great time playing it.
Yeah. I mean, we both play it alone. We both go do solo, and we don't really do. I play some Undermine alone, but not that much. But I love playing this one alone. Go find
this one, like, it's totally fine to do
things.
Totally fine to do. Yeah. And like we're finding one of the other things we didn't mention, and this is like a part of how like robust this game is. They have added, we just kind of found this out on accident, spell combos.
Yeah.
Like you cast a geyser of poison on the ground and it's shooting up a poison geyser, and then you electrify it. It just starts exploding everywhere. Like the spells will combine, which is for a game at this stage. I'm like, that is so.
They've thought they're thinking far ahead. Yeah, they're thinking very far ahead, and it shows. It shows that, and they talk about the roadmap. And they're like, we're sorry about this roadmap and that roadmap. I'm like, you guys take your time. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
This is one where you have some runway to work with.
We're watching this video going, and they've already done stuff that
I'm so mad. I'm so pissed. I'm so triggered about this. Like, I can't. Like, we need to go play this right now because I didn't know.
Did you see him blowing up the?
Yes, I saw it. Yeah, yes, I saw it. And the rare item he got, I saw it, Peterson. We'll do it tonight, okay?
I was like, we haven't even tried that. Anyway,
as mad as you are. Oh, and there's a mount, which you summon instantly. So these maps can be
run
big,
so fast,
but he runs super fast. You summon him instantly. You don't need to wait for like a thing to show up. So that's awesome. The movement and the mobility is really cool. There's no fall damage, and the maps are really thoughtful. And guys, you got to check this out. If any of this sounded remotely appealing to you, get it. It's like $20. It's so worth it.
And we've been having a great time with it.
Yeah. It is so good. And I don't think either of us have been really doing any first-person shooters lately.
Nope.
And I don't think it's really been our flavor lately. The fact that this one grabbed us so strong should tell you all like how good of a game it is.
Yeah.
This isn't what we're feeling, but we want it. So I'd say buy at any price. What about you? I know it's your dice game.
Same. Just get it. If you've got someone else to play it with, get this game and play it together. You guys won't regret it. It's a lot of fun. It is a video gamey game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very gamey. And if you're like Fortnite kids, which is so funny, someone pointed out to me, people that like Fortnite, people that play Fortnite, they're no longer kids, Peterson. Yeah. I mean, they're kids to us because we're ancient, but they're like 20-year-olds. The kids that grew up playing Fortnite can vote, can rent cars.
Yeah.
Like,
I know I have one of them. I've got an 18-year-old.
So it's like if you're like if you grew up playing Fortnite, like this is a pretty dope. How mad are you that wasn't a nuke? He would have died.
I wanted it to be a nuke.
He would have died. All right, so we got a re-roll here. What do we do? What do we do first? The genre?
Do the genre, or no? Do who has to do it first, and then
what do you want? Odds or evens?
Genre. You pick.
Okay, I will take odds.
Okay,
and it's a 4. Suck it.
That's my turn. All right.
Hey,
bone dice. Here we go. Roll them bones. It's a 14.
14 is that's so fitting. It's an EGS free game.
Oh my gosh.
Which is cool because that means our EGS free game is off the board and Steam Top 10 new and trending is on the
board. No, that is my favorite one because it could be literally
anything. Just 10 options though. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Now you get to go through your EGS library and see. So we don't need to do prices.
What the free game is right now.
Yeah, I'm so bad at checking mine.
Citizen.
I only check it if someone texts me. They're like, "Hey, you should check this game out." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do it. That's an easy
Peterson rolls EGS free game. That's fun for you. Okay.
It's fun for me.
All right, dudes, that's it. We did the whole episode. Thanks to Abby and Patrick for jumping on and hanging out with us on this Monday night. Peterson, spin it. Play us out.
We've got something.
We have this song.
What do we? What am I listening to here?
It's called Farting Around. I'm JD. Logging off.
This Peterson on AFK. I hope you're backwards from laughing.
Because it kills. It kills.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad it's on the board now.